Let's do a self-exploration meditation on the me without the I-ness. Let's sit comfortably. Let's close the eyes. Ask yourself the question, who is sitting comfortably? Who has closed the eyes? Is there an I that can be located that claims that it has completed the action of sitting comfortably and closing the eyes? Does a permanent I that claims ownership of these two actions really exist? Look for it. Search deep within. Seek the doer I. If you sincerely search for the doer I, you will recognize that it is nowhere to be found. At the moment when the action is happening, there is no doer I. There is no feeling of doership. Then what is it that claims to have completed the two actions of sitting comfortably and closing the eyes? Look within, earnestly, sincerely. What can you find? Do you realize that it was only in retrospect that the doership of the two actions was claimed? Are you able to recognize that there is only a mental picture of the doer I? There is no doer I. Do you see this? Are you courageous enough to recognize that you claim the ownership of this mental picture of the doer I? Are you able to recognize how memory grasps onto two mental pictures of the two actions claimed by the doer I? Are you able to see that the memory links the two mental pictures of the doer I? Are you able to recognize that the connected mental pictures are what you consider as your own self image? Do you have the courage to accept that you see yourself through this mental self image? You never see yourself as who you really are because of the cloud of this self image. Seeing through an image is not actual seeing of the reality. Are you courageous enough to proclaim that until now you have been seeing everything through mental images of the mind? Do you have the courage to proclaim that everything that was seen through a mental image was not actual seeing? Bring up a memory of your recent interaction with your beloved partner. Are you able to courageously recognize that while interacting with your beloved partner, you were seeing through the image that you have created of yourself, the spouse? Are you able to courageously acknowledge that while interacting with anybody in your personal world, whether it is your beloved child or your beloved parent, you see through the image that you have created of yourself in your own mind as the parent of the beloved child or the child of the beloved parent. Are you able to courageously acknowledge that you generally interact with the world through the created self image, which is only mental? Similarly, you have created a mental image of a spiritual seeker, and you see your spiritual mentor through that image. You see the entire spiritual wisdom through the mental image of the spiritual seeker. It is one image interacting with another image, the image of the spiritual seeker interacting with the image of the spiritual mentor. Seeing through an image is not actual seeing of the reality. Seeing through a mental image is not the actual seeing of the reality. It has become a habit. Due to the habit of seeing through mental images, one continues the same on the spiritual path. Ask yourself the question: am I seeing through the image of the rasa in my mind, or am I actually seeing the rasa? When there is the actual seeing of the rasa, There is no center from which it is being observed. There is no observer. Ask yourself the question, am I able to recognize the absence of the observer? Do I have the courage to acknowledge the absence of a doer? Do I have the courage to acknowledge the absence of an experiencer? Do I have the courage to accept that there was never a controller? There is no controller, and there will never be a controller. Do I truly realize the absence of a center? That absence, that shunyata, that nothingness is the rasa. It is the real me, the me that does not say I. Am I able to recognize that silent me, the me without the I-ness? It is the silent me without the I. The silence does not have a center. Ask yourself, am I able to operate without a center as the silent shunyata? If the answer is in the affirmative, It is still the I. If the I arises, it does so in search of validation. It is seeking affirmation for its existence. It wants a confirmation. It is looking for a sense of security and assurance. It is simply the needy I. Reject, reject, reject it. Attempt to be with the shunyata, the zeroness. Shunyata does not speak. Allow the silent shunyata to wipe away all the noisy answers. Simply be. Simply be. Simply be. And recognize how the me without the I-ness reveals itself. Let the true rasa wipe away the mental image of the rasa. Simply be. Simply be. Allow the rasa to wipe away the mental image of the rasa. See reality as it is. Because seeing through a mental picture is not actual seeing.